Good morning, yogis. Wonderful to see everybody out here. Welcome to your Tuesday morning 8:15 Vinyasa class. I'm Tom. I'll be guiding you through your practice this morning. Thanks for joining us here at Urban Yoga. As always, please make sure you visit urbanyoga.org to check out all the latest on our scheduling for classes. We have 5 classes now at the park this week. Wonderful weather, so we're thankful for that. You can also sign up for the email list, so that'll keep you up to date if anything changes. I don't think we have any rain coming up, so we'll be out here pretty much 5 days a week. So wonderful. So yeah, this morning we're going to do a flow, but we're going to sink in a little bit deeper and really focus around using some props today and our blocks especially. So a lot of times people shy away from blocks. You might be super flexible, or you might just say, you know what, those poses look a little too hard for me, but really encourage using the blocks, getting to know them. It really helps you be a lot more accessible in the poses. So it definitely helps lengthen the body. So if you ever were trying to get down to those toes or wish your arms were a little bit longer, those definitely can bring the earth up to you. So it helps in lengthening, helps in strengthening. So in our tougher poses, some of our balance poses, helps kind of isolate those muscles so we can strengthen and build them over time. And then last, it really gives us a place of surrender so we can sink in a little bit deeper into the poses and get the most out of it. And if you've done yoga a long time and you kind of don't use blocks a lot, if you do use them, it brings an entirely different experience. So we'll get into some of that today as well. So this morning, we're just going to start on our backs, and you can just have your blocks off to the side, readily available. Just going to begin settling in. So just come down to your back and then bring your feet out about as wide as your mat, and then let the knees fall together. And just softly close the eyes. And I'm just going to sit up so I can project and you can hear me a little bit better. And the arms can be out to the sides, palms can be face up. If you'd like to draw a little bit more tension inward, you can have one hand on your heart, one hand on the belly there. And as always with our practice, we just begin with our guide, which is our breath. So just check in with your guide this morning. Begin to lengthen your inhalation, drawing in through the nose. Notice the cool sensation of the air coming in through the nostrils, coming down the back of the throat. As you fill up the lungs, expand the sides of the rib cage, and then gently feel the warm sensation of the air exiting the nostrils, letting everything go. And just begin to cultivate that close connection with your breath, drawing out the inhales and exhalations to a count of 4 or 5, whatever's comfortable for you this morning. As you begin to tune into that guide and tune into the breath, just begin to take all that attention inwards. Begin to make that transition from being the doer to the conscious observer, just noticing what's coming up for you this morning in the body. Just check in with any areas of tightness or tension that might need tending to today. Focus that breath on expanding the sides of the ribs, drawing the breath into the backside of the body. Helps to fill up the front. We tend to breathe that shallow breath just in the top of the chest. So really trying to explore the breath, drawing it into other corners that we don't typically breathe into. And just letting it happen naturally. Let this breath be ever present with you throughout your practice. Let it guide you. If you feel you're having a harder time breathing, that's a good cue to back off and just rest when you need to. If you're pushing yourself a little further in a pose today and you're sort of shaking, you can let that breath be the balance and just guide you as you feel a little bit of a struggle, help it bring you back to stability and calm. Let's just take a few more rounds of breathing here. Just feeling that connection with the earth, Feeling the earth hold you up, feeling stable and strong, feeling that rooting. And then at the opposite end, just feeling what's lifting, feeling the heart lift, feeling the chest rise. Just tuning into those sensations of the body. All right, let's softly blink the eyes open. Go ahead and just grab that block. Just grab one block for now. And all we're going to do is just place it right in between the knees. So place it sort of short ways like this. And all we're going to do is use this as a tool to begin to engage the belly here. So bring the heels in a little closer to the glutes. So kind of work them back in. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Place the head down. And then just begin to squeeze the knees together firmly around that block. And then palms down, we're just going to lift up through the hips.
That's enough. That's enough. Oh!
Feel the belly engage. Just going to mute you. Hey, Marnie.
Okay. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
She's got her dog helping her out there.
Oh, do I have a sound on?
It's okay. I muted you. All right. For those of you who have the block, go ahead and lower the hips down. And we'll just do that again. This time, if you want to add the arms, inhale the arms up overhead. The belly's going to want to sort of pop open, so kind of clamshell those ribs down. Take a deep inhale, squeeze that block, and push the hips up. The belly's drawn towards the back of the spine. Big inhale in the chest. Exhale, lower the arms, lower the hips down. We'll just do that one more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. And then we're going to go ahead and keep that block in between the knees and then just draw the knees in towards the chest. You might have to adjust your block just a little bit. You want to draw that tailbone down towards the earth. You can have a little gentle rock side to side. Just massaging that low back. And then inhale, draw the arms back up overhead. Big inhale here. As you exhale, draw the palms towards, alongside the legs, towards the feet. So we're kind of curling up. You can curl up as much as you'd like. So a little bit of ab work here. Inhale, open up. Exhale, go ahead and take elbow across the knee on the outside on the right. So a little twist here. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, back up to center. Inhale, lower again. Keep that belly engaged by squeezing that block. Exhale on over, second side. Inhale brings you down, and then just go ahead and lower the legs down. Go ahead and bring the heels together. Open up the hips so you can just use the palms to kind of draw the knees up and in towards the armpits a little bit. Just opening up the hips here a little bit. Breathe into the pelvis. Fill the torso up. Exhale, let all that go. And then we're slowly just going to roll ourselves on over. And we're just going to come up. And we're going to sit on the block, coming into a hero's pose. So hero's pose can be really, really tough for people, especially on the knees. So typically you're sitting in between the thighs. That can be a lot on the knees here. So you can have one block, you can have two blocks here. But just, again, creating that length in the body, bringing the earth up to us to make it more accessible. Kind of flatten out the feet. Those are our anchors here, so keeping us nice and strong and stable. Stack up, heart over hips, head over heart, so nice long spine. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, broaden through the chest. Let's just take a deep breath in here. Feel the crown of the head go up towards the sky as you root down through your tailbone, creating a nice long spine here. Let's inhale those arms, draw them out and up overhead. Big breath in. As we exhale, we're just going to take a gentle twist. So take that hand across the thigh, roll the other shoulder back behind you, and you can kind of wrap it around that sacrum, giving you a little bit more leverage on that twist. Just getting warmed up here. Inhale, release gently, and then exhale, twist a little deeper. We'll go ahead and release. Inhale, back up. Exhale, take that twist the other side. Roll that back shoulder back behind you, creating a little bit more space in that twist. Let's take one more breath in. We'll go ahead and release it. Let those arms go. Roll those shoulders back behind you. If you want a little bit more, you can clasp the hands together, creating a little bit of a bind here. If that's too much, you can just grab for the other palm. Elbows can be out to the side. If you're in the bind, draw the knuckles down. Lift up through the heart. Take a deep breath in, a big sip of air in through the nose. Exhale, draw the knuckles down a little bit more, just a little gentle back bend here. All right, let's go ahead and release that. Good morning, welcome. I'm just gonna grab you a block here. Do a little block class, so get warmed up. All right, guys. All right, so just coming into a comfortable seat, have your block readily available. Your legs can be cross-legged. You can also set yourself up on a blanket if you need a little bit more lift. So we're just gonna work through a seated cat-cow here. So go ahead and get a moment to get yourself situated. Stack up, like I said, heart over hips, head over heart. We're gonna go ahead and take this block out right in front of us. So as we inhale, we're gonna take it up overhead. We're gonna puff the chest and then draw the elbows down. So you can bring that to the back of the head. Lift up through the heart space, open those elbows. Big sip of air in. We exhale, we're gonna draw that block out and reach it out in front of us, scoop the belly out, push the block forward so we're reducing the space in between the scapula and the shoulder. Draw your chin in towards your chest, and then just work with your breath here. So inhale, open up. You could just be here looking up. You want a little bit more of that opening. You're using those elbows. Press the crown of the head back, open up. And just move with your breath. Getting some nice spinal flexion. Whatever's feeling good for you. Looking good, Marnie. So you can just see what that block does to just sort of engage the muscles a little bit of different area than you're normally used to. All right, let's go ahead and release. Just place that block out in front of you. And you might need to do a little adjustment here when we fold in. So we're just gonna inhale up. Exhale, reach forward. Begin to walk the fingertips forward to whatever degree is comfortable. So you got some options here. You can come down to your forearms. You can place that block up like this. Give your head a spot to just rest. So whatever's comfortable for you this morning. If you want to get it all the way down, you can place the block all the way down. If you're super, super bendy, you can also use the block and walk it on in front of you. Creates a little more space in the chest, and you can bring the head all the way down. So a lot of different options for every body type, wherever you're at in your practice this morning, whatever you're feeling. Just explore it. Breathe into the space in between the scapula and the shoulders. Breathe into the back. Breathe into the kidneys. And having that block, you can just melt down. If forward folds are a little tougher for you, the head feels kind of heavy, you can just surrender here and sink in a little deeper. Let's take one more big breath in. wherever you're at, begin to just walk those hands back towards the body. All right. Go ahead and place the block off to the left side of your knee, so at kind of a 45-degree angle. And we're going to adjust here in a minute. We're going to inhale those arms up overhead. As we exhale, we're going to drop that left hand down. You can kind of walk away, bend the elbow. Just take a side body bend here. So root down to that right hip crease. Breathe into the right side of the body. Breathe into those spaces in between the ribs. We're going to inhale here. We're going to exhale. We're going to rotate the sternum out over the leg. We're going to reach for that block. So you might need to adjust it. You can also have it up a little bit higher. But what we're looking for is just beginning to sink in and breathing into that right side, stretching through the pectoral muscle. Just creating some space. Inhale, we're going to take that right arm up, back behind us, open up, do some circles with the wrist here, just getting those cracks out, snack, crackle, pops. And we'll go ahead and release. Let's take our block, set it off to the other side. Here comes that sunshine, wonderful. Inhale up. Exhale it on over, walk those fingertips out, root down through that left hip, and reach that arm up and over. Breathe into those spaces in between the ribs. Your gaze can come up under that arm if you want a little bit more. Big breath in. Exhale, rotate the chest, reach out for that block to whatever setting is comfortable for you this morning. Sink in, feeling a nice stretch into the heart space, a nice opening there. And then we'll inhale, draw that arm back and open. Big circles with that wrist. All right, let's go ahead and let all that go. Go ahead and roll over those knees. Place the block in front of us here. We'll set ourselves up in tabletop. So you can have a blanket here for your knees if you need it. The grass is pretty padded for us, which is wonderful. Just take a moment here to get ourselves set up with our shoulders lined up over those wrists. We got our hips lined up right over those knees. Let's tap the tops of the feet. These are our anchors. Just getting woken up here. Get some blood flow in those. We'll work through a cat-cow, so just begin to draw the chest forward, broaden through those clavicles, lift that tailbone up, press into the top of the feet, push that floor away, reduce the space in between the scapula on the back, and push the hips forward as you draw the gaze down and in. Move with your breath, opening and closing, getting that nice spinal flexion. Adding on any other movements that might feel good, looking over shoulders, swaying hips side to side. All right, let's go ahead and take that right foot back behind you, tuck the back toes, stretch through that calf, so just pushing that heel back. And then go ahead and float that leg up, shoot the heel straight out from the hip point. We're gonna inhale here and we're gonna exhale, just draw that knee in towards the nose. And when you do that, push the floor away to create some space. We're gonna come into a low lunge in a minute. So we're just, now let that heel come back. So we're just looking to create some space here. Inhale again, exhale in knee to nose, push floor away. So that gives you a little bit more space. One more time, inhale. And this time as you exhale, curl in, and then take your time and work that front foot forward. So this might take you a minute here just to get set up. So options here with the blocks. Typically in a low lunge, you can have 2 blocks alongside that are bringing that floor up to you. If we're only working with 1 block this morning, you can just kind of sort of pick your favorite side. But I'm going to cue the block to use a little bit more in the belly work here. So get yourself set up, make sure that knee is lined up right over that heel. Use that back foot for an anchor. We're drawing that tailbone down, lifting up through the chest. And then go ahead and just take that block out in front of you. Just press into the sides of the block here. Then we're going to inhale and lift that up overhead. The belly's going to want to pop open, so kind of zip those ribs down and in. A little bit of a back bend here. Draw it down through the tail, lift up with that block. And then if you want a little bit more, you can bring it towards the back of the head and open up through the elbows, open up through the chest. Drawing down through the tail, lifting up through the crown. Using that back foot as an anchor. Drawing all that energy into the center line of the body. Big inhale here. Exhale, draw the arms back up. And place that back down behind us. All right. Take a moment, get yourself set back up. Let's bring that block in between the palms. Bring the palms to heart center and just press in with the heel of the hand. Let's take an inhale here. We're going to exhale. We're going to twist that elbow over the knee. Press into the block. See what you can do to kind of get that block lined up with the center of your chest. So you're opening that right shoulder. Let's take one more breath in here. Exhale, let's release. Place it on the inside of that foot there. We're going to go ahead and press down into that block. Pull that back knee up. So we're in a lunge. And then take a minute and roll that right shoulder back and open it up back behind. So before you send that arm up overhead, roll the shoulder back and then open up, stacking those shoulders up in a twist. If you wobble, fall out of it, just take a moment, kind of set yourself back up and get back in. Let's take a big inhale here. Exhale, lower it down. Go ahead and place your block back in front of you. We'll just step that knee back. Let's just take a moment, just take a child's pose here. Send those hips back towards the heels. Take a big inhale here. Walk those fingertips forward. Sink in with the chest. Notice how one side feels a little different than the other. Check in with that breath. Keeping it ever present throughout our flow today. Gently begin to release. Walk yourself back up. Set yourself back up in that tabletop. We're going to take that to the second side. Get your foundation nice and set up. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Then we'll reach back with the opposite leg, stretching back through that calf. And then when you're ready, go ahead and float that leg up. Push through that heel like you're kicking back to a wall. Push that floor away. Inhale here. Exhale, draw in knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl in. Push the floor away to create space. Inhale, open up. This time, as we exhale, draw that knee in. Work your way to set yourself up for that low lunge second side. That heel has a hard time getting up there, just drag it up there. Right? Build your foundation nice and strong. Make sure you're your other knee isn't up too much, because then when you're trying to lunge, you're not really going to get anything. So you want to create some length in that back thigh. Make sure you have a nice padding for that knee. And then we'll go ahead and grab our block. Stand the arms out. Check in with the belly. Pull that belly button towards the back of the spine. Now let's take it up. Zip those lower ribs down and in. Squeeze everything into the center line of the body. Maybe the gaze follows up. Maybe you want to add the arms. Explore those two opposite forces at work. What's rooting down, what's reaching up. Where's the breath uniting those two? Big inhale here. Exhale, let's go ahead and release that down. We'll go ahead and place the block in between the palms. Bring palms to heart center. Take an inhale here. The exhale, we'll lean forward and draw that elbow across. Sometimes when we're doing this, you have the palms in prayer position, but having just that little bit of action, that little squeezing of those heels of the palms together, really focuses all that energy on the center of the body. Stay for one more breath. And we'll gently release. Place that on the inside. Go and place the heel of the hand down. Draw that back knee up. Get yourself set up. And then roll that back shoulder open, reaching back. And then add the arm if you want, bringing it up overhead. Sometimes it's hard to get that arm to come up behind you, so try dragging it in front of you. It's a little easier to open the shoulder that way. Wobble and shake, smile. Take one more breath here. Exhale, gently lower yourself back down. Go ahead and bring that other knee back in. Take your block and bring it back behind you. We're going to start to work our way up into downward facing dog. So walk the palms back out forward. Go ahead and tuck the toes. And then gently just have the block back behind the heels. At first, we're just going to pedal out the feet here, bending one leg at a time. Check in with those fingertips that they're spread nice and wide. You're taking that weight not into the back of the wrist, but more into the pads of the hand, so up more towards the knuckles. And then just explore. Go ahead and sort of tiptoe yourself back towards the block. Place one heel on the block. And then shoot that other leg up towards the sky. See if that's a little easier than when you do a single leg upward dog. Or down dog, sorry. Go ahead and bend that knee and stack the hip and open up. And just having that stability under that heel is really nice. Let's take another breath in. Square the hips back towards the mat. Lower it down and we'll switch feet. Take a little rest if you need to. Otherwise, set yourself up with that heel, shoot the leg up, and then bend the knees, stack and open up the hips. All right, we'll go ahead and square those hips back off. Maybe place both heels down on the block for a minute. Sink into the heels, walk the fingertips forward a little bit more, open up through the chest. Big breath in, big breath out. We'll go ahead and release the heels and we'll just walk our fingertips all the way back towards our feet. We're going to go ahead and grab the block here, place it in front of us. And coming up into a halfway lift. So we can use that block here Again, to bring that floor up to us, make it a little bit more accessible. Push those thighs back as you press into the block. Broaden through the shoulders and the clavicles. Reach that crown of the head forward as you send the hips back. Big inhale. As you exhale, we're going to gently bend the knees and fold in. Options here. You can come to forearms. You can get the head all the way down. Just let that head be heavy. Grab for both opposite elbows and rest the forearms on the block. And bend and straighten the knees as much as you need to here. Let's take one more breath in. Go ahead and let that go. Go ahead and grab for your block. Place both palms alongside it like we did earlier. Bend the knees a lot here. Kind of sink the hips down and then press into that block and then begin to draw it up and draw the energy up through your legs into your core. Extend those arms up overhead. Take a moment. Your shoulders are going to feel like they're kind of up around your ears. Just sink the shoulders down in the sockets so we're not crunching up here. Take a big inhale. Lift up, look up, press the hips forward. So just a gentle back bend. Go ahead and bring yourself back up to center. Shoot those fingertips up. Big inhale. As we exhale, let's take it on over. Extend that block up and out. Breathe into that right side of the body. Inhale it up. Exhale on over. Other side. Reach the block up and out. Create some length in the side of the body. It's kind of nice to have just that little bit of weight of the block added on, just to give you a little bit more leverage. All right, let's go ahead and release that. Inhale it up, place the block down, fold in, bend and straighten those legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach the crown forward, shoot the hips back. Exhale, fold in one more time. Grab the block. We're going to take it with us. Inhale draws you all the way back up. Stand up. Press the hips forward. Take that little back bend here. And go ahead and bring it out in front of you. All right. Just a little bit of balance work here. So we're going to go ahead and extend the block out in front of us. Draw the right knee up and in. Squeeze that block. Rooting down through that left foot. The big inhale here. The exhale, we're going to shift that heel back. We're going to take it into a crescent lunge. So take a moment, get yourself set up. If you're wobbling, no big deal. So check in with that knee right over the front foot. You can bend the back knee here. Sink the tailbone down and then straighten that back leg out. Same thing that we did on the first side. We're going to inhale that block forward. Drop the tailbone down, lift up through the chest. You want a little bit more, take the arms up overhead. Squeeze the pinkies in. So you're kind of rotating the arms, internal rotation. Check in with the belly here. You want a little bit more, go ahead and take it to the back. Take it deeper back there. Big inhale. Exhale, we're going to set ourselves up for warrior two. So we're going to rotate. We're going to drop that back heel. We're going to open up through the chest. As Go ahead and take that block out in front of you. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. And then another cool thing if you want to play around with is, as you're in there, take the block back behind you, roll those shoulders, drop it down. So I really like that because it really gives you that opening across the chest. That might be a little tough. You can also use a strap if you're not coming together as much as possible. It helps kind of drop that tailbone down, sink in a little bit deeper. Just a lot of different variations we can play with. All right, if we're here, let's go ahead and take that block out in front of us. Then we're going to reverse warrior with it. So it's kind of nice having this as just a little guide, taking that up and over, letting that arm slide down the leg. And then just having that little weight in the hand. It's just like a nice little added leverage. We'll go ahead and unwind from that, bring it back up. And we'll go ahead and set it down right on the inside of that leg as we take an extended side angle. All right. So we'll go ahead and place that hand on the block. Your opposite shoulder, you want to roll it up and open. And then go ahead and take it up and over. So if it's hard to get it up and over your head, coming up behind you, like I said, try it in front of you first. And all of a sudden it creates a lot more space, and then just twist and rotate that chest back to opening up. Very active in that back foot along the back edge, the front toe. Those are our anchors here. Try not to sink into that front shoulder. All right, go ahead and use your core strength to lift yourself back up. Bring our block with us. I'm going to straighten that front leg. Reach that block forward. Dip that front hip and lift the back hip. And then rotate yourself into a triangle, Trikonasana pose. Your block can be on that highest setting. It can also be on the lower setting if you want to get in a little deeper. And then if you want to come along for the ride, I love doing blocks with revolved triangles. So if you don't want to get into that, you can come up out of this. But if you look down at that block, rotate the opposite arm down. Keep that leg nice and strong and straight. Then inhale and rotate yourself up the other direction. So this is really difficult if you have your hand all the way on the floor. It's just really nice to play around with, having that stability of the block. Super awkward, super weird, super fun. If you're in that, take your time. Let's get on out of that. Bring ourselves back up. All right, from here, we're going to go ahead and just rotate that back heel up. Step yourself forward. Place that block in between the thighs. And then sink down into chair pose. Spread those toes nice and wide. Sit that tail down. Use that block to fire up the belly. Take those arms up to the sky. Lift up through the chest. Breathe, shake. Exhale, we'll release, let that block go. Fold in for a moment. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale brings you all the way back up. Shoot those arms out and open. Draw the palms into the chest. Just let those hands fall to the side here in mountain pose. Close the eyes for a second. Just notice how the body feels. Notice how one side might feel a little bit different than the other. Going through that sequence. Just notice all that energy sort of cascading down like a waterfall through the body. Rejuvenating and refreshing with fresh oxygen and blood flow. Getting it all to those corners of the body that are ignored in our daily lives. Just take a deep inhale here. Big exhale out. Softly blink the eyes open. Just get a little shake out. You need a sip of water, coffee, beverage of choice. We'll work through that second side here in a moment. Everyone doing good? All right. Yeah, it's warming up, huh? Next time we're going to have to set up in the shade so we're prepared. All right, guys, let's grab our blocks here. We're going to take that same sequence through the second side here. All right, let's go ahead and grab our block. Take it back out in front of us here. Extend it out. Gentle press in. As we do that, let's fire up the core, fire up the belly. Pull those kneecaps up and in. Spread those toes nice and wide. Root down into the right heel. Draw the left up. I'm mirroring for some of you. Big inhale here. Exhale, squeeze the block. Pull the belly in. Take a big step back. Crescent lunge. Take a moment, set yourself up. And bend that back knee. And begin to push and straighten through that back heel. Draw that tailbone down. Lift that chest up. Inhale that block up and overhead. You want to go a little deeper. Add that back bend. Open those elbows up. Take one more inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to slide on over into warrior two. Drop that back heel. That back foot lines up perpendicular to the mat. So we want that heel to arch alignment here. Bend that front knee. Set that knee right up over that heel. And then options. Play around with the shoulders by just rolling them up, back, and down. Taking the block out in front of you. As I mentioned before, if you want a little bit more, roll it down, dropping it down towards the tailbone. Sink it. So even though we're sinking in to the front knee, we're drawing energy up through the pelvic floor as you draw the tailbone down. So it's kind of like two forces happening at one time. Take the block out in front of us, flip it around, we'll reverse that warrior, slide that arm down the leg, breathe into the side with the block. Let's go ahead and release. We'll set ourselves up for side angle. So go ahead and place that right on the inside of the foot. Whatever setting is comfortable for you this morning. Press into that block. Roll that opposite shoulder up and back. And then take that arm up in front of you and reach it up and across. So we're looking for one strong line from that back foot, edge of the back foot, traveling all the way up that leg through the side body and reaching out those fingertips as much as possible. Stay for one more breath. And then take our time in our transition. So go ahead and use your core strength. Straighten that front leg and bring that block up. Reach it out and forward. You dip that front hip and lift the back hip. And then go ahead and rotate it back down. Take that back arm up and over. Getting a nice hamstring stretch in that front leg. Straightening it as much as feels good for you. Then if you want to play with that revolve, you can kind of look down at your hand, rotate that other palm down, and then slowly draw that other arm up and open. All right, let's slowly get out of that. Pop that back heel up. And we're just going to step ourselves forward. Bring that block right in between those knees. Our final part of this flow. Sit yourself back in that chair, Utkatasana. I just love having this block. Helps you shake a lot more. It just draws everything into that center line of the body. Really draws the focus where it needs to be. Take one more big sip of air in. Exhale, fold in. Let that thing all go. Go ahead and fold in. Let the head be heavy here for a minute. Inhale, flatten out. Exhale, fold. And we're just going to take it all the way down to the knees. And I think we all earned a nice child's pose here. So let's grab our block. A couple options here with your block in child's pose. So for some people, they have a really hard time getting their chest down and feeling a stable point. So you can have that block like right in between your chest and the sternum. If that's too much, you can have it out in front of you. I like this because it really creates some space in the chest so you can sink the chest down. Another great option here is to have it right underneath the elbows, and then bending the elbows, you get a nice triceps stretch as well. So play around with that. We'll just be here for some different breaths. Be in one pose for a little bit. If that doesn't feel right, get it out of there. Try it somewhere else. But a lot of different options here. You can also have your crown of the head just on the block, or the forehead, not the crown. That'd be really hard. Wherever you can sink in. Really, really great for strengthening, but also just amazing support for just surrendering and letting everything go. Stay with that conscious observation, just noticing what's coming up for you. How does the body feel differently from where you began this morning? Just emotionally, maybe a difference, or maybe you've noticed a lot less thoughts bouncing around in the head, just a little bit more focus. Just remaining in the present moment throughout the rest of your practice. Everything else can wait. Just be here for 2 more rounds of breath. Make them long, luxurious, and really get into those crevices and corners of the body. On the exhale, see what you can really let go of. Any last bits of tension you're holding on to in the jaw, in the brow, in the eyes. One more big breath in, fill up. And let go on the exhale. Take your time kind of working out of that. Do a little time check here. Yeah, I think we got time for one more little standing series here. We're gonna do one more standing series, but not much of a flow, not as difficult as we did. So just make yourself back up to a standing position. We're gonna go sideways on the mat, so wide-legged. Bring our block right underneath the forehead here. Toes slightly pointed in. We're beginning to wind down, but still getting some nice stretches here. All right, so let's just take a moment here. Inhale those arms open. Open up through the palms, so roll the shoulders open. Press the hips forward, take a gentle back bend. As you exhale, you can bring palms to hips and then fold forward, hinging forward with the crown of the head. And then options with the block. You can come to forearms. You can bring your head all the way down to the block. So nice little inversion here. Just let the crown of the head be heavy. You can bring your palms towards the back of the calves too. Feels a little bit more stable, or the backs of the thighs. It feels like you're A little firmer in the feet. Inversion, really, really great for the central nervous system, just letting everything settle. Just notice the grounding, support of the earth, the support of the block. Notice the lift in your tailbone and the breath uniting these two opposing forces going on. Let's take one more breath here. Exhale, release. As we begin to come back up, let's just take a halfway lift with that block. So shoot the crown of the head forward. Press those thighs back. Press into the block. Deep inhale here. And we're going to set ourselves up for a twist here. So we'll go ahead and have that block right underneath the face. Place one hand on that block. And then inhale, open up. Roll that right shoulder or left shoulder back, whichever one's going up. Stack those shoulders up. And you can play around with that setting of the block. On the highest setting, the lowest setting, whatever feels good. Big inhale here. Exhale, we're going to switch sides. Rotate, switch arms. Open up and roll that other shoulder back. Push those thighs back a little bit. Big breath in. Exhale, rotate back. All right. Go ahead and bring your feet in a little bit. We're going to bring the heels in, and now the toes are out. Coming into goddess pose here. So you can grab your block, roll the shoulders back. So we're lengthening through the thighs. Drop your tailbone down. Extend those arms out in front of you. Squeeze into the block. Pull up through the pelvic floor as you sink down into the knees. So it's active here. Inhale, bring the block up, straighten the legs, and lift up. Big inhale. Exhale, sink back in. Take the block back out in front of you. We'll rock side to side, working into those quads, strengthening. Inhale brings you up, straighten those legs. Exhale, sink in one last time. Looking good, Marnie. All right, inhale up, bring it up. Exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Go ahead and place that block down. And we're going to heel toe the feet in. We're going to come into a malasana pose, so garland pose. So you can have that block on the highest settings. You're basically placing it right underneath that tailbone. Knees go wide. Take your time getting here. Roll the shoulders open, so we're open through the chest and not hunching. Roll the shoulders open, broaden through the clavicles, palms together. Press those thumbs into the sternum, lift up through the heart, drop down through that tail. Most people have a really hard time with malasana. It's great with blocks. So if the teacher's not cueing it, bring your blocks, use your blocks, do your own thing. We're going to go ahead and take that left hand, reach it to the inside of that thigh, press it against that, getting a little bit more opening. And then the other arm, we're just going to draw the bow back behind you, open up and look back. Opening up through the chest, opening up through the hips. And we'll go ahead and release. And even if some of these poses are easy for you without a block, it's really, really great to explore them with a block. I'm pretty bendy and flexible, but let's go ahead and take that opposite arm to the inside, peel back and open up. We're also trying to get a little deeper and expanding your practice, blocks are definitely one of the quickest ways to help you build strength, build balance. All right, let's go ahead and release. Bring both palms back together. We'll go ahead and place the fingertips down. Take a moment, heel toe everything in, and make your way down to a seated pose. All righty. Begin to really wind everything down now. Let's come into a staff pose here. So take a moment, wiggle yourself back and forth on those hips. We want to get in front of those sit bones. So if you're sitting back on your sit bones and you're trying to fold forward, you're never gonna be able to hinge forward. So you really want to wiggle your tailbone back, get in front of those sitting bones. So you're getting a lot more accessibility here. Okay, so feet are active. We're pressing thighs down. We're drawing our toes back towards our knees, pushing the heels out. You can do this with or without the block. I kind of like it. Because it helps you reach forward. Even if you can't get in front of your feet, which is great, you can still use this to lengthen, or you can place it here on your lap. So I'm gonna play around with this a little bit more. So inhale the arms up, check in with that belly, draw the belly button towards the back of the spine. Big inhale. Exhale, again, hinging forward and reach with the crown of the head and reach with that block forward. Keep those toes drawing back. Maybe you get that block in front of the legs. Maybe that's not happening. You can place it here. You can have it here. You can have your chin on it. You can have your forehead on it. There's a lot of different ways. See what you need and what's going to be accessible for you. You can have a block on the shins. So if you're looking for more stability, so you can just sink in, you can have it with the head. Or if you're looking for that deeper stretch, you're using it to sort of elongate the arms and the spine. All right, wherever you are, let's take one more breath. Let's go ahead and let that go. Bring that block back up. Bring it in. Let's go ahead and drag in one heel to the inside of the thigh. Doesn't matter which one. Going to keep that long leg nice and active. We're going to bring our block right into the inside of either the thigh, the ankle, or the calf. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use that. We're going to go ahead and press into that, and we're going to open up. So we're going to open up through the side body, and we're going to place the forearm on that block, and we're going to take the opposite arm up and over. So we're getting a nice side body stretch. We're also getting a nice hamstring stretch kind of into that groin. Let's take one more big breath in here. Gently release. Let that leg go long. We'll take that to the other side. Drag the heel in. Bring that block to the inside of that leg. Keep that foot nice and flexed. I like to kind of use that a little bit of leverage. Push yourself open a little bit, then place the forearm down. Maybe you can even grab a hold of that big toe with each finger. That opposite arm up and over. All right, take your time, gently unwind yourself. Extend that other leg back long. Take it all the way back down to our backs. Have your block handy for one last supported pose. We're going to come into a supported bridge pose here. So bring those heels in towards the bum. Legs together. And we started with the bridge pose with the block in between the legs. So keep that same squeezing, but this time we're gonna go ahead and lift up through the hips and then bring that block right underneath that sacrum. So you can have it on whatever setting is comfortable for you here. You can have it on the highest setting, that mid setting. Pull that belly button towards the back of the spine, zip those ribs in, and then press those hips up to the sky. Palms are face down, using those forearms for leverage to have some nice lift here. If you want to explore a little bit more, you can lift one leg up to the sky, pressing through the heel. If you're exploring that, maybe the other leg, maybe both legs come up and you're in a supported shoulder stand. If you're doing that, just make sure that block is secure underneath that sacrum. You're flexing those feet, pressing those heels up towards the sky. Squeeze the elbows in alongside the ribs. You can also begin to walk the feet out long, stretch through the tops of the feet, point the toes down with a nice release in the low back. Really, really nice working through the bridge series with a block. There's so many different things you can do and activate different areas of the body. Let's just play around with that for another round of breathing or two, wherever you are. Finish through that cycle. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and lift the hips up and remove that block. Place it off to the side. We'll draw the knees into the chest here. Get a nice counter pose here. So draw the tailbone down, squeeze the knees in, drawing the thighs in towards the ribs. Let's go ahead and keep the right leg in, extend the left leg long. And we'll just take a gentle twist here. So we're just going to draw that knee across the body. You can have that block underneath the knee or the shin, just for a little added lift there, added support. We want to make sure those shoulders are down on the ground. Those are our anchors, so we don't want the shoulders to pop up. And then if you want to add on a little bit, you can twist your gaze away from the way that your knee is twisted. Let's take one more deep breath in here. Gently begin to unwind yourself, starting with the head first. And take that knee back across the body. Set yourself back up. Placing that tailbone down and squeezing those knees back in. A little rock side to side. Massage that low back and release. And we'll take that twist to the other side. If you use the block on the first side, go ahead and place it on the other side so you have it. And we'll go ahead and extend that leg nice and long. Press through that heel. Big inhale, and then as you exhale, gently guide that knee across, twisting from the base of the spine up into the shoulders, keeping those shoulders firmly down. And add that gaze last, twisting the opposite direction. Let's all take one last deep breath in. On the exhale, begin to unwind with the crown of the head first. Bring that knee back up and over. Take a moment here. Draw the knees back in towards the chest. And then let those knees open up wide, and we'll take a Balasana Happy Baby. So then press the heels up to the sky. Grab for the outer edges of the feet, or you can grab for big toes with peace fingers. You want to draw the tailbone down. So the tailbone is going to want to pop up. Draw the tail down towards the earth. And then squeeze those elbows down towards the armpit. Gentle rock side to side. Notice how the body feels. The hips, the heart, shoulders. And then when you're ready, let everything go. Just let those legs go long. The palms open up to the sky. Set yourself up for our final resting pose, Shavasana. Just let those ankles open up like a book. Feel that opening up into the hips. Nothing left to do here, but just to enjoy the benefits of our practice. Enjoy the yoga buzz we created. Let all that wonderful energy and prana settle into the crevices of the body. So just take a moment here just to check in with any last bits of tension you might be holding. Check in with the jaw. Soften the throat. Soften the face. Let the eyes sink into the sockets. Let the bones feel heavy against the earth. The skin soft, just sag around the bones. Soften through the belly and the heart. Relax the hips, the knees, ankles, all the way into the fingers and toes. Let's be here for final few moments of observation. Allow me to call you back when it's time. Let's begin to collectively take a deep breath. Let's welcome sensation back into the body by micro movements of wiggling fingers, toes, raising of the eyebrows, or moistening of the lips. Slowly begin to draw your heels together and your arms up overhead to take a last full body stretch here. Flex and point the feet. Reach the fingertips up and out. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, gather all that energy up. Draw those knees back into the heart space one last time. Draw that tailbone down. Give yourself a big hug. And then gently roll yourself off to one side. Move slowly with purpose. Keep the eyes closed if you can. And we'll make our way up to a final seated pose, Sukhasana. Take a moment here just to get yourself situated. We'll go back and forth on those hips. Line that heart up over the hips and the head over the heart. Feel that rooting through your tail and that lifting through your crown. Just take a moment here to notice how you feel. Notice a little bit more of maybe a heightened sense of awareness in the body, sensations around you, sounds of the world, the temperature of the room or the sun. Extend those arms out to the sides. Inhale, lift up, look up, open up, look to the sky. Look up those clouds, or if you're in your home, make some clouds behind your eyeballs, as Kristen says. Big exhale, draw those palms into heart center. Just take a last moment here to thank yourself, putting some time aside for your practice, for yourself and you alone, for spending time with a wonderful community of like-minded people. I'd love to acknowledge everyone for coming today and offer from my heart to yours a sincere namaste. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Marnie, great to see you on Zoom. Acknowledge those around you. And as always, make sure everyone visits the website, urbanyoga.org. Check out all the latest scheduling. Make sure you visit that virtual tip jar. Keep this wonderful yoga community going strong. I'm Tom. I'm here every Tuesday. I'll also be teaching on Valentine's Day, subbing for Kristen out here at 9:45, which should be a pretty fun one. So hope to see you all again. Thank you.